What have the last, few months since September been like for you?
There's been a little bit of chaos, but that's the landscape we're in, and getting to settle in from December to now into the season. You get back to the team, the guys get working, and you're back to football. So it's been a challenge, but it's been a good one, and I'm excited about the spring and the upcoming fall.
What's the thing that just day to day for you has changed the most?
Just getting to understand the staff and getting to know what areas we can improve on, and being able to work together and collaborate and pull ideas together to make the best team we can.
Coach, how important is your role been in just kind of assimilating everybody to this place? It's all new to them, but for you it's not.
Yeah, sure. There's some things that get to be leaned on because of timing, calendar, the area, and the roster. But that's been a collaborative effort with Coach Rogers and the staff, and it's been good. I've been excited to help, and excited for the upcoming spring season.
Feels like, just from what I've read and seen, that this staff really does put a huge emphasis on special teams and the importance of its role within a game. How exciting is that for you? I mean, I know that was a priority for the last staff too, but just the emphasis that they seem to put on its role in winning and losing football games.
Well, I think that's any staff. I think that's obviously, any element of the team that can help us win a game is going to be important, no matter where I've been and who I've worked for. I think that's certainly, a valuable part of changing a possession, being able to do things to complement the offense and the defense, and that's universal in football.
How excited were you when Kyle Konrardy said he wanted to stay a Cyclone?
Well, everybody's excited when you have good players, and Kyle's had some wow moments, obviously, his first 2 years, and the value he brings to our team is huge in terms of field position and opportunities to make kicks and score points, and he's done that at a high level, and certainly excited for him to continue that journey.
Obviously, you had the two high-profile game winners, 54-yarders against Iowa, but I'd imagine from a philosophical standpoint as special teams coordinator, you feel that there are a lot of other game-winning type of plays that can be made, whether it be punting inside the 10, whether it be how do you put all those pieces together, and yeah, that's the big one, right? Everyone, the clock runs out and the game's over, but there's that one maybe with 9:45 left in the third quarter that you didn't get a touchback on the point, you got it down at the 6, that type of stuff.
I think the reality is crazy things happen in football when a foot hits a ball, and whether it's a kickoff, a field goal, or a punt. Those moments come at different times in the game, and as much as anything, retaining possession and being smarter with the ball in the air, which we had some moments last year you'd like to get back, and working on those things. Aiden Flores is going to be another year older. We've got some good guys coming into the program in terms of ball handling, and but you never know when those opportunities come. That's the beauty of the game, is it could be in the first quarter, it could be the last play of the game, as you mentioned, but every play counts, and you got to take every possession as it presents itself.
You mentioned Aiden. I mean, do some guys have that it factor when it comes to be able to flash in the return game, whether it's a quick twitch, whatever you want to call it, but I mean, was that evident with him right away, that he could be the type of guy that showed what he could do last year in particular?
Well, you certainly saw the growth over his freshman year to his second year in terms of the communication and the ability to be on the field, to command the return game, especially in punts. It's such a high-profile play in terms of changing possession, and that's something that he's obviously continued to work on. But with the ball in the hand, he's electric, and had a great season last year, and expect similar things from him moving forward. But he's a dynamic player for sure, and he's shown that in big moments.
What's your feel on this staff's take on which guys are going to be out there on the special teams? I mean, will we see a lot of ones? Will we see some guys that we're less familiar with? How do you think it'll all work out?
I think the uniqueness of special teams is bringing both sides of the ball together in the units, and depth players, starters, and just being smart with the roles they have within the offense and defense, but also to develop and create opportunities for other players to impact the game as well. So I think the more we can involve our roster, the better our locker room is going to be, and I think special teams is a great place to do that. Obviously, you've got to put your best players on the field and the best opportunities, and they got to make the most of them.
And how important is that in a player's development to maybe get that first chance on special teams, and then to gain the confidence from that they can play and that they belong out there?
Sure, I think regardless of an offensive, defensive play or special teams, you got to be able to trust them, to be able to, be on the field in the moment and to make that play. And as they do that, it can develop from 2 plays to 4 plays to 8 plays, and then before you know it, a guy's had a bigger impact on the field. But that sample size can come in a team's unit and then translate into an offensive or defensive opportunity that guys have had in their career.
How much will the rest of the staff join into the effort on special teams, or will you have total control of yourself, or is it a team collaborative effort?
It starts with myself and Coach Rogers, and Coach Pavlik, who's been with Coach Rogers for a number of years, is on staff, and he's been a great asset. And then Jacob Studdard came on staff, who's been a coordinator, been a position coach, and has great input. So it's been awesome to bring some voices in the room to work here in the off season to bring about the best in our units from where they've come from, where I've been, and certainly what we've done here over the past few years.
At punter, you have Jonah from Urbandale and you have Ethan from Australia. What's that dynamic like? What's that room like?
I think Jonah's from Cedar Falls, I believe.
Okay, Cedar Falls.
Cedar Rapids. I think he's east here. He's not from Urbandale, but he's a guy that we knew in high school, went to Western, had a great season there in 2024 when they went to the national title game and was on the roster last year. Obviously, Tyler's been a great punter for us the last 4 years, and for Jonah to come in a year where Tyler was a senior to learn the system, to work with our strength staff and all those things, and then to add Ethan to the roster this offseason has been a great dynamic. He's been wonderful to work with and adapting. Obviously, he's a long way from home, but he's working through the training mechanisms, and the room's been exciting. Obviously, the void of Tyler graduating is going to be a huge part of the puzzle we got to figure out with these 2 guys, but I'm excited to see their growth and feel like both of them are going to be quite capable of handling those duties.
With Ethan coming up through pro kick, I know that's become so common at the college level. How much does he come in already knowing about football and versus what he needs to learn now?
Pro Kick's done a great job over the last 20 years to develop players. Obviously, they've trained and educated them with the American game, but until he's here working within our system, just like anybody, a freshman coming out of high school, there's differences to it. But he's been great and going to continue to grow, and I think he's got a high ceiling that he's going to continue to work at. But I look forward to the 2 of them competing and seeing where we land this fall.
What are the factors you look at in that competition to decide?
Well, first they got to work within the system. It's not just being out there by yourself punting. You got to be able to hit your spots. You got to be efficient with your hands, and then obviously ball placement, which coordinates the other 10 players to coverage, and that's the biggest thing. A lot of guys can be on a field by themselves, but can they operate when they've got a rush against them? Can they operate to get to the launch point? Can they work within the system that we're running? So that's the biggest advantage I think that Jonah will have because he's been here a year. But Ethan will be a quick study, and like I said, I look forward to the 2 of them competing.
Thanks, Coach.